Good evening. Tonight I'm going to be doing Anderson Valley Boont Amber Ale. So I recently tried an amber ale and I was reminded about how much I like them, so I thought I would give this a try. Second reason I was interested is because it comes in a can, and I wanted to get a couple of craft beers in a can on my craft beers in a can IPA, or excuse me, not IPA, my craft beers in a can playlist. So I'm excited to give this a shot. One thing I want to say, and this is the second one I've taken out of this six-pack, is that it's near impossible to get these out of this six-pack without shaking them, which drives me crazy. And I have to pull on them for a bunch of time before I can get them out. So I think the packaging is really annoying. 21st Amendment puts their beer in cans, and then it just comes in a box. So your box of 6 or 4, or however many are in it, the pack, are in a box. And I feel like that's a much nicer way to go about things. This plastic tab crap irritates me. But on to this beer. Yikes, which I just got all over my computer. Yay! Okay, so keeping in mind that I shook it a little bit trying to pull it out of the six-pack, it did pour with a decent amount of head. Let me see here. It is 5.8% alcohol by volume. It smells really good. Wow, it's just sweet and malty and amazing. And this is my son's head creeping up here on the side. He'll photobomb at some point, I'm sure. Anyway, so it smells amazing. Beautiful maltiness. A little bit of, just a tiny bit of hop coming out of it. It's got like some almost citrusy qualities to it, I think, is what I'm smelling for the hops. Very, very malty. Caramelly and wonderful. Makes me want to drink this. Appearance-wise, it's a beautiful amber color. You can see it's pretty clear. Actually, it's pretty crystal clear. Yeah, crystal clear. My glass is just a little foggy. And it poured with a good head. And it did retain as well. So that's a nice quality that we're always looking for in this kind of a beer. Flavor. So this has a great malt flavor, and it definitely is characteristic of this particular style. It does have a decent amount of hops involved in it, which I think is interesting. Most of the time when I have amber ales, it's a showcase for malt and not necessarily hops. Some of them have a good hop balance. This actually has a pretty forward hop flavor, but I think it's well balanced between, or well balanced with the malt. So it's pretty amazing beer actually. Very well balanced. Definitely has a caramel sweetness and a hop bitterness, which I think they've done a good job with. The finish is nice and clean. Good beer. Mouthfeel wise, it's medium body, and out of this I get one of the reasons that I like amber ale so much is because they kind of have that slickness to them, a nice big heavy mouthfeel and some slickness, and this beer has that. It's not a heavy body necessarily, but it has a little bit of slickness, but that slickness is really nicely balanced out with the hop kind of astringency in the finish. Leaves you going back wanting another drink. So great job to Anderson Valley on this. I think it's a very drinkable beer. So a little bit of history about this particular style. It's known simply as a red ale in some regions. These beers were popularized in the hop-loving Northern California and Pacific Northwest areas before spreading nationwide. This beer comes from my area, so it's kind of homegrown. This is actually out of Boonville, California. And some of the famous red ale or amber ale examples. North Coast Red Seal, Pyramid, Anderson Valley is on here, Red Tail Ale. Those are all Northern California beers. And then add to that Rogue up in Oregon. So great lineup of beers that are characteristic for this particular style, and Anderson Valley is right in there with them. So great beer. If you haven't had a chance to try it, give it a try. Great thing about beer in cans is that there's no light, so it hasn't been light struck, so it's not going to be skunky. And then you can bring it into the pool area, right? Cheers for that. Great tip for summer. All right, thank you for watching. Have a great night.